You're listening to 96.3 WDIK. Shout out to GTG, God bless, Tiante, my boy, for that beat once again. That shit is fire. That shit is heat. Represents us well. And I guess the audience seemed to like it from the 3 people that have texted me. So shout out to you guys. But welcome to episode 5 of But Hey, What Do I Know? I'm your host, Joseph, and thousands of kilometers that way, and fresh out of horny jail, it's Amanda. What's up,
Hi,
Amanda?
guys.
Did you get it out of your system?
No, it is. No, I'm joking. It's out of my system. And I would like to apologize to everyone for cursing your ears last week.
Yeah, you went extra wild. And Jake Gyllenhaal and Idris Elba don't even listen to this podcast. I don't know why you were going this hard.
Please stop slandering them.
All right, here we go. Before we start, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SMGSOUNDNETWORK. I forgot to do that last time because you just completely fucked my whole shit up. But follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SMGSOUNDNETWORK. I run the Instagram, she runs the Twitter. So if you want to yell at her for being extra horny last podcast, or you want to say what's up to me, hit us up. Also, Patreon, we just posted a bonus video, us guessing each other's slang. It's pretty funny. It's pretty grainy. It's pretty terrible. But yeah, y'all should check it out. It was fun to make. And for the first time, we didn't talk over each other because, we could actually see our lip movements and shit. So that was pretty cool. So let's see. What do you want to talk about, Amanda? I'll give the floor to you. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm tired. I don't know. I'm tired. How are you?
Oh, no one ever asked how I'm doing. I'm so glad you asked. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing all right.
You're welcome.
Let's see. It's currently hot as balls, degrees Fahrenheit outside. I went to mow the lawn, and well, I don't mow the lawn to mow the lawn anymore because we have like a whole bunch of leaves. So basically, the only reason I ever mow the lawn is to just get the leaves out of there. And it's raining leaves. Like, I'll work out there for an hour, 2 hours, close my eyes, look up, and it's as if I didn't do shit. Like, it's just raining leaves like crazy. And it's, what is it? It's 80-something degrees outside right now, and it's only March, so I'm going to have a lot of money because I'm an AC technician, and that's what we get money for. But
Nice.
I'm going to get a lot of money, but I'm going to be extra sore and extra tired, and I'm probably not going to be able to see my friends as often as I want to, but that sucks. I mean, you wouldn't know about that, Mrs. 3 friends every, 2 years? What did we agree on the other time?
I see them twice a year, and that's sufficient.
That's nuts. I still can't understand that. Y'all must not really be friends. Those probably like acquaintances or some shit.
They're not my friends. They're my acquaintances.
While we're on friends, shout out to Columbus, Ohio again, because Columbus, Ohio continues to beat out my hometown of Jacksonville as the #1 listener in America. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know why they're doing it, but shout out to you guys. Hit me up on Instagram. I want to get to know you. Give me your favorite.
Some fans there.
Give me your ice cream flavor. I've never been to Columbus, Ohio, and I know nobody in Columbus, Ohio. I had to
Why
look up
ice cream flavor.
I don't know. It's like a good icebreaker. What's your favorite ice cream flavor, for example? I don't eat ice cream
caramel.
because I don't like anything that brings me joy. Oh, sorry, salted caramel.
Yeah, and a good vanilla. And if I were to go to like a specialty ice cream place, like an apple pie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds kind of fancy.
Because anything with apple, with me, just can't go wrong with apple desserts. They're just far superior to chocolate desserts.
Yeah, and you're going to catch this fade after this podcast for slandering chocolate.
Chocolate sucks.
But see how much I got to know you just off your ice cream flavor? I know that your taste buds are whack, and you might like apple fritters.
Just anything. Put apple, cinnamon together, and I'll say yes.
Oh my god! All right, so before she goes off the rails again, because I can feel it somehow.
What? we're talking about
I'm
food, you
kidding.
weirdo.
I'm kidding. I'm
Get
gonna
your mind out of the gutter.
I'm gonna make fun of you this whole rest of the podcast. I hope you see this
Fine.
coming. All right. Um, let's see. Let's start with something simple. How long do you want to live for? Because I ask people this a lot, and I get a wide variety of answers. So I want to start with you because you seem like very depressed and like you don't. I don't. I don't think you're like. I don't think your answer is gonna be like ballpark 90s, hundreds. You know. So give it to me.
Okay. So I've always seen myself dying young from like a car accident. Like I have this reoccurring thing that I will die in a car accident
Dude, no way. Really?
when I'm young. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh yay!
I keep
See,
having
that's
this
why we're
dream,
friends.
and this is super dark. I did not think we would start this
We just
dark.
went off. We
I thought
went
it'd be
right in.
I thought it'd be funny, but I have this reoccurring dream where I know the exact intersection that I die on, and it's super
Same.
weird. And every time I pass that intersection, like I just get really like weird about it, and it's like an extra
Same.
vivid dream because I have photographic memory, and so like I get a whole bunch of like super vivid pictures that my dreams can pull from. So it's just awesome, and all my dreams are just horrible, horrible, vile dreams. So of course I get to paint super vivid pictures of these terrible things that happen to me.
When I drive past it, you know that gif of that monkey that kind of like looks around awkwardly, like
Oh yeah,
that's how I look at the corner, that bend on the highway, the freeway, not the highway, the freeway. That's how I look at it. I'm like, are we meeting one day?
yeah. It's like, is it today
Is today's the day?
at
But
two
yeah.
intersection?
No, it's not an intersection. It's like a bend in the like right off. People in Melbourne would know this. It's like the ring road, just like the ring road entry and exit off the West Gate. That area is where I feel like I will die. Why am I saying this is terrible? But that's like I've always had this dream. But if I were to live till I'm like 90 or whatever, I will do all the drugs because I have this fascination with drugs, but I don't do drugs.
Kids, drugs are terrible.
Yes, but
Yeah,
this is a podcast for adults, so who cares?
We're back to back. We're going straight from horny jail to encouraging people to try methamphetamine. Look at this podcast, man.
I'm not encouraging them to do it, but what I'm saying is if I'm 90 years old,
Uh-huh.
yes, I will do heroin. Yes, I will do meth. Sue me. Just to try them like one time, just like a one-time thing. Because I feel like I have a lot of self-control. So I'm gonna die anyway, so let me like try them all at least once.
You know what's really funny?
What?
I feel like every meth head started off with that one like line. It's like, damn, I got a lot of self-control. I got this. And all of a sudden they're
Australia
like,
is meth central.
oh, so you guys are like just a bigger Florida.
Yeah, everyone's on ice and coke. The rich people are on coke. The not so rich people are on ice, which is meth.
We know what ice is. I think. I don't know. This is the
you might call something else ice, and then I say ice, and
no all the
associate it
drugs.
with like a different drug.
Drugs are like an international like what is it, language?
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, but all the young 20-something-year-olds are on cocaine. So
yeah, because y'all got money. The only drugs that me and my friends allegedly do are hip hop and I don't know. I'm not gonna incriminate myself if there's anything to incriminate myself about. What are you, nuts? I'm gonna go on here.
Drugs I do are prescription drugs by my doctor.
Yeah, because you're hella rich.
For me. No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you're like abusing pills. That's
no,
like
I'm not abusing pills.
Okay, that's like
Are you kidding? My mother
please
would
get
kill
help.
me. My mom checks my medication because she, is a healthcare worker. So she would be like, I need to see this prescription. Are they over prescribing it? So she checks if they're over prescribing, and if they are, she'd be like, no, they need to go down.
Your
That's too
mom really
much.
trusts your ass.
She just, well, I mean, she's like, sometimes they just overprescribe things and it's
Yeah, okay.
unnecessary. So she would like check the prescription, the dosage, and she was like, yeah, no, you don't need that. You need something just a bit lower than that. So then she would make me go back and, in my big age of 26, to go ask them for a new prescription with a lower dosage because it's not necessary to take the one with the higher dosage.
All right,
And I do it.
off of pill addiction, because I didn't want to start this way like 11 minutes in, but let's see. I always imagine
Oh,
myself. Yeah, go ahead.
speaking of pill addiction, have I told you about the time where I almost died from a bacterial infection because I was watching YouTube and eating dinner at the same time and I cut the roof of my mouth?
No. The hell's that about?
And then I got prescribed, like, I don't know, some kind of like pain medication that was heavenly. And I was barely functioning for 2 weeks because I was just taking pills and laying in bed like, oh, this is so good. I can't feel my legs, but I feel great.
You know what? Well, let's stay on pill addiction for a little bit, since you're dying to talk about pills. You know what? You know what my least favorite like experience with pills ever was? Benadryl.
What?
Because Benadryl for me, like, I'm an insomniac. It's really hard for me to fall asleep. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember I
You
went to
started
my
abusing it?
no, I went to my uncle's house, and oh, the opposite of abusing it. Let me just get to my story. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to my uncle's house, and there was like a virus or something that was going around, and it made me break out in hives. So they thought I got allergic to something at the party, and so they gave me Benadryl. That's like the first like active like course of action is what I was gonna say. The first course of action, they gave me Benadryl. They're like, this is gonna knock you out. You're gonna be like fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. Like finally some rest. And so I took the shit and I went to sleep, and I woke up like it didn't help me go to sleep at all. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just drowsy as balls, but I couldn't go to sleep. And all I wanted was some water. And I would walk out of the room and I would pass out on the floor, go to sleep, wake up, and I'd be like, where the fuck am I? And I'm like, oh shit, water. And so I would go and then I'd make it to my brother's room, pass out on top of my brother, wake up, go, oh my God, where the fuck am I? Oh shit, I was going to get water. And this process took me about, I think, I want to say 3 hours. I'm trying to remember. This was a while ago. And my dad woke me up and he was like, I finally got to the living room couch. And my dad woke me up and he was like, hey, what the hell are you doing here? I was like, please, for God's sake, I've been trying to get water for 4 hours. It's taken me 4 hours to get a cup of water. Can you please just get me a cup of water? And so I got my water, and then he like carried me back to my bed and put me there, because I was like, dude, if you don't help me get to the bed, it's gonna take me. I'm gonna By the time I get to the bed, it's gonna be morning, and I'm gonna have to wake up, and this whole shit was pointless. But
But my
yeah, I
question
took
is,
one and I threw the rest of those shits away, and I just powered through it. And then it took like 2 weeks to diagnose me, and when they finally did, they were like, oh, yeah, that's just like a virus that he's like allergic
Ebola.
to. Yes, 100%. I had Ebola. They're like, oh, the Ebola's gonna go away, and the freaking hives are gonna go away. And the next day they went away, and I was like, oh, so I just went through all that bullshit for nothing. You could have just told me it was like a cold or some shit that I was allergic to, but I don't know.
You could have
That's
you could have just gone back into your room with like a whole bottle of water. Why did you just have a cup and then that is just so anyways.
Amanda. Do I strike you as the brightest person in the world?
No, that's I was realizing that halfway through.
Yeah, I'm not the
But
sharpest tool in the shed.
I mean that if that happened to you know what? When I was on that whatever the pill was that felt amazing, my mother was very like she would bring me water and stuff, so that worked out well. But when I injured my knee, you know what I was hoping? I was hoping that they would give me like some morphine or some good shit. They gave me paracetamol and I wanted to throw it at their face.
Oh, while we're on morphine, I have a funny story about how I found out that I am immune to morphine.
Oh, tell us.
Okay, so for all 10 of you that listen, most of these people went to the high school or went to my high school. So I'm going to tell this part of the story and you guys can believe it or not. I don't care. The point is, it was a running joke my entire life. It still is kind of, whatever. So the wiffle ball incident. Everyone knows about the wiffle ball incident except Amanda, so I'm going to let her know. So I'll give you some context. This is when I was first going to the gym and it was a whole bunch of Russian dudes. They're all arm wrestling. I was like, you know what? I want to get big and strong, just like the Russian dudes, like the Ruskies, you know? So I went and I started going to the gym, and my shoulders were always like super weak. And so I went like ham on my shoulders. I was doing military presses and like handstand push ups. Like I was in really, really good shape. But the day before we had wiffle ball, I worked out like super hard and my shoulder was like insanely tense. So I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. It's just tense from working out. And so we go to play wiffle ball. And for those of you that don't know what wiffle ball is, it's kid baseball. It's just a plastic bat and a ball with some holes in it. And I mean, that's about it. And so Jordan Harrison, shout out to Jordan Harrison, but also
I think
fuck
we
him
call it
because it's
T-ball.
no
Is that
T-ball. No, T-ball is it's literally just baseball with a T, like where you hit it off so nobody pitches it to you. It's kind of just
Oh
an easier
yeah,
hit. Wiffle
that's
ball is made out of all plastic. It's supposed to be like a super safe way, which is that's why it's funny as shit because I got injured playing the safest sport of all time, which is wiffle ball. And shout out
you
to
sound
Jordan
like a little
Harrison.
kid with a
Yes,
mouthful. Wiffle ball.
wiffle ball. Yes, wiffle ball. Mommy, I want to play the wiffle ball.
Stop it. You
No,
don't
but
want weird people listening to our podcast.
no, I welcome all the weirdos, especially the weirdos with $5 a month to subscribe to the Patreon.
And then Joseph will also do baby talk for you guys on the Patreon.
No, quick side note, real quick. People like come up to me and they're like, "Hey, bro, like I swear I'm gonna put money in the Patreon," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not putting a gun to your head. You don't have to do it." And they're like, "No, I got you. Just don't hurt me, man." And then I'll see it, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, dude." They're like, "Oh, don't mention it," and they'll hang up. I'm like, "What?" Like, I'm not
Like,
forcing y'all to do
carry
this.
on. Carry
Yeah.
on with your wiffle ball story.
So shout out to Jordan Harrison, but also fuck him because he was like, dude, we need a home run, man, in this game that doesn't matter. So swing it as hard as you can with one arm. So I was like, okay, bet. So my stupid ass, I cocked my hand all the way back, and I didn't feel it like pop out of place because I like popped it way before, like it was kind of in an awkward angle, and I swung as hard as I could, and I popped my shoulder clean out, and I ripped all my tendons and all that shit, and they took me to the
Why did
emergency
you go
room
so hard for waffle ball?
because we needed a run and I had just moved to that school and I wanted friends. Okay.
That's what
Like,
you get for making friends.
yeah, that's why I was like, you know what, I'm giving up. Like, I'm not making friends till like 10th or 11th grade. Because I had transferred to the middle of the year and I looked like a janitor and I had like my mustache still. Like, I was just, I was a
How
mess. I
old
was,
were you?
this was the start of high school. So I was like 15 at the most. Yes,
Yeah, start
I
of
had
high
just
school
turned,
for us is when you're
yeah, I
12.
just turned
So
15. I just turned 15.
we don't
So
have middle school here. So start of high school is when you're 12.
that's weird as shit. But okay. I mean,
Mm.
that's good on y'all. But let's see. What was I? Oh, yeah.
And you ripped out all your tendons.
Yeah. And shout out to Coach Highsmith, who could have put my shoulder in like insanely easily, but he's like, no, like, I don't want your parents to sue. I'm like, dude, my parents are not going to fucking sue you. We're Arabs. We don't even know what sue means. Just put my shoulder back in. And he wouldn't do it. And so I had my shoulder out for a solid, I mean, I want to say 4 or 5 hours by the time the freaking ambulance came and they took me to the hospital and they wheeled me in on a wheelchair and the lady's like, I just need to get your weight. Can you sit on the scale? Or like, can you stand on the scale? And I looked at her like I just wanted to like pull her eyeballs out with a spoon. I was like, ma'am, my shoulder is in my collarbone. I'm not standing up. Can you please just put my shoulder back? And so they wouldn't do it. So I had to stand up, like hold my arm in place. My shoulder's just like bouncing around like a freaking like rubber ball. It's bouncing around like a wiffle ball. Not a wiffle ball, a racquetball in those little rooms. You ever played racquetball or seen people play racquetball where like it looks just like mindless hitting like a
Is
ball with a
that
racket?
squash?
It might
Is
be squash.
racquetball squash?
I don't know, dude. Like y'all call everything some stupid shit. We call it racquetball because it's a ball and you hit it with a racket. Why do you call it squash?
Um, I don't know.
You have no idea. Okay, so I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, it
So
is. It is. It is squash.
weird shit. So anyway, my shoulders bouncing around. There's no holding it. They finally get me into a bed, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you some morphine and we're gonna pop it back in. I'm like, okay, bet, yes. Like I'm excited. I'm like, the pain is gonna be gone. And I'm sitting there, and like an hour goes by, and I'm like, hey doc, when are y'all gonna hit me with the morphine? They're like, we've hit you with 2 doses already. I'm like, oh, because this shit hurts really bad still. And they're like, oh, like we're gonna have to put you to sleep. And I'm like, isn't that less effective than morphine? They're like, yeah, but I don't know why you're just not like responding to morphine. So they put me to sleep. They popped it back in. I go to leave. It's like literally all they have to do when I wake up is put me in a sleep and leave. And I woke up around lunchtime. Lucky me. And nobody was in. Everyone was out for lunch. And I saw him. I was like, dude, I
The
just
whole
want to go home.
hospital?
Basically, yeah, everyone on my floor was gone. And I'm like, what? And I see my nurse walk around with like a plate of lasagna. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, ma'am, can you just give me a sling so I could go home? And she looked at me like, oh, yes, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you're damn right you're sorry. I just want to go home. I had the worst day of my life today. Everyone's going to come back and make fun of me. And I was freaking T-Rex armed for like 6 months. But yeah, that's the story how I found out I was immune to morphine.
And meanwhile, I did not get any morphine when I tore out my MCL and meniscus when I fell from walking to the Korean chicken shop. I was so hungry and I was walking with a purpose. And I just slipped and fell and it just popped right out. I just heard this like nasty pop and I thought, oh, let me try stand. And then I couldn't, so I was just laying on the ground. And then people just walked past me like, weirdo. She's just laying on the ground. And then this man and his son came up to me and they're like, are you okay? Did you get punched in the face? I'm like, no, I just fell. They helped me up and I went to the hospital. And yeah, I didn't get any nice drugs, nothing at all. Because there's like this thing where people go around shopping for drugs, faking injuries and shopping for drugs. So then the policy is just not to give people anything, just let them suffer. So yeah, that was my experience. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I just called my mom and she came and picked me up after. Like it wasn't, I just went in, got an x-ray done, got some scans. Then they like wrapped my knee, whatever, and just wheeled me out. Oh, and then they gave me crutches for like to take home as my little present. And I think I only paid like what $10 for the crutches, and that was pretty much it. Then I went to physio after, but that's like the boring part. Oh, then my physio that I went to, he was like weirdly like touchy feely, and
Ooh.
this is he's a great physio, but he's just too handsy. He needs to keep his hands to himself sometimes. But did I say no? No, because it was free physio. Okay, so I was like, you know what? I'm willing to take whatever this is that's happening right now.
So this
He
is
was like,
so when you make fun of, hold on, because this you do this a lot off air. When you make fun
uh-huh.
of America for having to pay for healthcare, it's either pay for healthcare or get it for free and get raped, like at the doctor's office. Is what you're telling me? Like
he's
either
a really
he
nice.
fingers you and gives you free Medicare, or you pay for it.
No, he's just like, you know what? He he has like a Pilates section to his like practice.
I'm sure he
So
does.
he gets like, and he's like, you know, he's one of those like middle-aged men that are like quite good looking. He's Greek, so he has like you know that Greek guy John Stamos. He kind of looks like him.
Oh, so you were like feeling him a little bit, like that's why you just let him you just let it happen.
All the middle-aged moms in the area are all doing his Pilates class, and his assistant is like also really hot. And I would go in there, and he, you know what he would do? He would like walk behind me and put his arms. You know how you do like prom photos, and you have your arms like under the girl's arms. It's like around your waist. He would he would come up behind me, and he would pick me up like that, and I was like,
pick you up?
Yeah, and I'll be like, what are we doing? What are we doing, doctor? Like, we're out here, like, out in
whatever you want this to be. And then, like, the music plays.
Oh. And he would walk me like that into, like, one of his little private rooms. And then he'll, like, strap me up to machines and stuff.
And you get all this for free?
Obviously.
Oh my! I gotta go to Australia. That's the move. Getting groped by Greek men. He won't
do that to you, though. Not to you. Just only to special
how do you know?
People.
You don't know his taste.
Yeah, that's true.
What if I'm his type?
But you might be. Then you might get a little bit more extra than I did.
Yo, if I go to Australia and get raped by a doctor, that would be so nuts. I'm never coming to Australia again.
But you know what? He was the best physio I've ever had because his
took all the pain away.
Oh my God. The strapping techniques that he taught me just held my knees together for like a good 6 months, and I could walk properly again. Like, it supported my knee. But then the tape that was recommended. So that's how. You know what? I didn't know that the tape that he recommended to me had latex in it because I'm allergic to latex. And I was strapping my knee with the tape, and my knee would like break out in hives and my whole like thigh. And I didn't know why. And then I read the ingredients. I'm like, oh shit. But did I stop? No, I kept strapping my knee because my knee needed support and I needed to walk. So whatever. I didn't care if I die.
Speaking of death,
my knee is fine.
Speaking of death, because I'm sure the people are like dying to know, because we started off at like the age we're gonna die, and we ended on like pill addictions and getting raped by doctors. So
he didn't rape me; he was just touchy.
Okay, yeah, it was consensual sex in the doctor's office, but
no, there was no penetration. He was just touching a lot.
So it was everything except penetration, is what you're telling me.
No, it wasn't everything except penetration.
I'm trying to get down. I'm trying to support you as a woman because I know this type of thing happens to a lot of women out there. And if you're suffering through it, I want to let you know that I'm here for you.
I wasn't uncomfortable. Yeah, sometimes I was uncomfortable because, like, oh my God, like, are you trying to give me some? Because, you know.
Do you have a safe word?
It's hard out there. No, I didn't have a safe word. I just tensed up and would just like.
What would your safe word be? Is it something hilarious?
To who? To him?
Yeah, just like you don't have a safe word.
I don't know. We didn't have one, but to him, my safe word would be tzatziki.
Oh my God.
I do love. Oh, have you tried Doritos and tzatziki together?
No.
Or like the extra cheesy Doritos with tzatziki. Oh my! Oh, it is delicious.
Watch yourself.
What? I'm saying,
I'm
try
kidding.
it.
I'm kidding.
People, try the extra cheesy Doritos in the red bag with tzatziki. delicious.
And if you get food
'Cause it just-
poisoning, make sure to hit her up on Twitter. I want nothing to do with this shit.
Because like the Greek yogurt is like, it just cuts the saltiness of it, and then it just like, it's just so nice. I don't know, but that's like my favorite food to eat after I go swimming.
Swimming specifically?
Specifically swimming.
Okay.
That's
cool.
like my snack that I take with me when I go to the beach.
Now chips
Is
do
a
hit
big
different.
bag of
Chips hit different
dude.
after the pool, like not the beach, because the beach, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me, but specifically the pool for some reason, like chips and like hot dogs, like just hit different. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't normally eat wraps or hot dogs, as you say. Yeah, wraps and hot dogs after a good swim. Oh my goodness. It's just, there's like a different seasoning that like your body was infused with salt water, and then you add that to the hot dog and the Dorito and tzatziki, and it's just heaven.
I'm talking about like the city pool that smells like piss and chlorine.
No, I'm talking about the beach.
Yeah, the beach, for me, it doesn't matter. Like, no matter what I eat on the beach, like, the only thing I have to have on a beach is a beer. Like, I don't know why. Beer on the beach, like, hits a little different. Because I'm not that much of a beer drinker, but I drink beer around my Caucasian friends. Because, you know, you gotta go with the flow. When in Rome, you can't, like, you can't go to Rome and be like, hey, you want some arak? Like, no, bro, I can't be bringing my Arab drinks over there. But, like, you know, you drink beer where the white people are, and I go with my friends, we get some cognac, and I put them onto some rum. You know, like you gotta move with the flow. You gotta when in Rome.
The last time I went to the beach, all I brought was salad and water. It was, anyways.
You sound like a riot.
No, because I went with my vegan friend. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable, so I just packed salad and water.
That's terrible.
But yeah, I do love the beach. But when I'm at the beach, I'm not like laying outside in the sun. I'm just in the water the whole time. You would just see me submerged in there with just my head sticking out and swimming around. I stay in there for hours. And this summer was like a terrible summer. We didn't have enough hot days for me to go to the beach. So that was kind of unfortunate. I was hoping that during the Christmas period, it would get hot enough for me to go swimming, but it wasn't hot enough because the water here is really cold, you know, because Antarctica and all of that. But yeah, it's just freezing cold.
Did I tell you about Tampa's water? Shout out to Tampa, because I know we have a listener over there too. If you count Clearwater, I count Clearwater and Tampa and all them as one city, but that's only because my dad used to tell me we're going to Tampa when we would go see my cousin, and my cousin's in Clearwater. So that whole little area, I just call Tampa. But I don't know. If y'all get offended by calling Clearwater Tampa, hit me up and I'll pretend to give a shit. But let's see. What was I going to say? Yeah, Tampa gets water from the Gulf of Mexico. So when you go to the beach, it's like super warm. It's an uncomfortable warm. Like, I don't know. Should I describe
like
it? 'Cause
piss in the pool.
I wasn't gonna say that. I didn't want to ruin people's appetite. But it's like when you pee in the pool, but the whole pool is just piss.
And you're overcome with that warm feeling.
Warm water makes me super uncomfortable because I want to
like swimming in soup.
I want to swim in cold water. That's just me. The colder the water, the better. When I went to North Carolina, that water's like 40 degrees Fahrenheit year round. That's like what? I want to say like
Fahrenheit.
7C, 5C. I want to say something like that year round. So that water was great. Like you go in there, but when I was in Scouts, my friends make fun of me all the time, but I was a Boy Scout. And the only reason I was a Boy Scout is because my parents wouldn't let me go camping unless I went with a group of like actual adults with their heads screwed on right. So I went to Boy Scouts.
Like abusing kids?
Yes, 100%. My troop was horrible. My troop was one of the worst. We had like knife fights and shit at our troop. I was like, I'm going home, man. Y'all white people.
You're a knife gang, basically.
The caucasity of them, man. Like they were going crazy. But anyway, we went to Camp Daniel Boone in North Carolina, and they were telling us, hey, you're going to have to take like a swimming test if you want to swim in the lake, but there's going to be like 10 lifeguards because we know most of the kids are going to go into shock the second they hit the water. And sure as shit, like 90% of the kids couldn't swim. I was one of like maybe 5 people that was allowed to swim the whole weekend. So I was like, oh, lit. Because I hit the water and I just started swimming. But everyone else like hit the water, just tensed up and like just started suffering from shock. So they had to pull them out and shit. They looked like sardines. It was funny as shit. But shout out to them. I hope they're all right.
Natural insulation.
Yeah, I really hope they're all right. I was not that fat at the time, all right? I was skinny for like a really big part of my life. And after the Wiffleball incident is actually when I like got fat. Because I was eating like a bodybuilder. I was eating like 5,000 calories a day, but I was burning that off and I was like going crazy in the gym. And so I got used to the amount of calories and I just kept eating. And I wasn't working out and then I got big. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like my life is over. I can't play sports
I've been
anymore.
fat my whole life, so you know.
No, I was chubby and then I got super skinny and then I got fat again. So, at least I had
I've
like
never been super skinny, and my dream in life is to be super skinny and also to be like strong enough to fight people and get into like amateur MMA. That's my dream.
Yeah, good luck with that at 26.
Yeah, with a bad knee. But I just want to fight people in a controlled setting.
Just, I don't know. Come to America. That shit happens all the time.
No, but you guys have guns. I'm scared.
Not really. Like, just go to a
I don't want to
place.
get shot in like a hand-to-hand combat kind of style. Like, I tell someone, meet me outside, and I come outside to fight that person, and they're already there with a gun, and I'm like, well, then just shoot me because I only brought my hands.
Well, you can't find somebody that's pussy. Like, you got to fight somebody who actually respects you enough to give you that hand-to-hand experience,
True, but I want to like with a referee in a controlled environment. I've been looking around at boxing clubs because maybe I should like join one and then just like train, just for fun, as part of my exercise routine. I don't know, but I wouldn't be opposed to that idea of like fighting people. Maybe that'll make me get all my rage out. Not that I have any rage or anything.
Then why would you need to get rage out?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just have some rage in me and it's like not tapped into, and maybe I need
just
to
punch a hole through a wall.
Why would I do that? That's weird.
I don't know. And you're too dark to be doing that shit.
What, punching holes through walls?
That is strictly a white person thing. Like, I've never in my life, like other than Dalton, but Dalton's half Greek, so I don't think they do that shit. And
Dalton, your people was touching me up in
Hold on. Hey, Jalal, what's up?
What's going on, man?
I'm recording. You're live.
Oh my God! Hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this to everyone that calls me now. So yeah, say hi to the thousands of people.
Hello, thousands of people. How are you today?
Yeah, Jalal is my my AC tech mate, as you might call him in Australia.
I think I've seen him before.
No, they say mate for friend. I know it's really weird because when we say like mate, like it's kind of weird for us because it's like kind of sexual, but like they just mean it as like friend,
sexual.
Yeah. No, you just made it weird by saying that. It's just a friend.
All right. should I leave you all to it? I mean, dang.
Yeah. I'll call you back in a little bit. All right, dude. Say it one more time.
Goodbye, thousands of people, my future admirers.
Yeah, we all love you here, Jalal, and we appreciate you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye. I gotta get the equipment to like actually plug the phone into the mic shit so that you could hear him clearly. But that would be really funny. That's my new rule. If you call me in the middle of a podcast, I'm gonna put it on, and everyone's gonna hear our conversation. But I'll tell you,
Well,
you're on the
nobody
podcast.
calls me.
Yeah, because you have 2 friends and you see them twice a year.
Yeah, and even then, I don't call them. I just text them.
Okay, let's get away from you fighting people and pill addictions and all that, because we haven't touched on anything like actually important on this podcast. But I know that people like this podcast because of our stories. So here's a segue into another story that you might entertain them a little bit. How far have you gone to cheat or avoid homework in school?
I have never cheated in my entire life, and it is so sad. Never have I ever like, hand on my heart, cheated. And not that I needed to, because everyone else in my class was dumb. So why would I want to cheat off dumb people? I've never cheated in my life, seriously. It's so weird, but
You hear that, men of the podcast? Amanda is loyal as shit, is what she's trying to get across.
I am also loyal to people that don't deserve my loyalty. So that's like another can of worms.
Yeah, you're clipping again. Back up.
Sorry, I just hit my head on the thing.
Yeah, back up like an inch or two. You'll be fine.
And that's what she said.
No, that's what I said to you after clipping and blowing everyone's eardrums out.
But yeah, I've never cheated in my life. Ever.
Okay, so since Amanda is a goody two-shoes, I'll tell the story of... Oh my god, I hope... No, they're never going to hear this. This is going to be funny as shit. So when I was in middle school, this was my move. I've done this move so many times. Because my friends know I used to be really computer savvy back when I used to give a shit about stuff and had hobbies and had a career and I was happy. But I used to like hack shit all the time, and I would like, always play pranks. Like I wouldn't do it like extra maliciously, but I would like fuck with people. Like I would make these little viruses that would just turn the computer off. Maybe if you made me mad, I might wipe your whole hard drive, shit like that. So what I would do is when the teacher would say, hey, like the project is due, they would do some bullshit where like everyone's project was due the same day, but only one person or 2 people would present at a time. So essentially, if you're the last to present, you have like 5 extra days to work on your project. And
yeah,
she put me first.
Sucks.
She put me first, and I was like, hey, like I just want to like work on it a little more. Can I work on it a little more? And she was like, no, you're due today. And I'm like, okay, bet. So I went into my hard drive, and I just made this thing where it just corrupted the whole fucking computer. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm ready. I plugged it in, and the whole fucking computer went out. And they had to get IT, and nobody knew what they were talking about, and a whole bunch of shit. They're like, what'd you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I literally just plugged my flash drive in to present my project, and the computer went wonky. Like, I didn't do nothing. I'm just a fucking 7th grader. I don't know shit about shit. And of course they believed me because I was a goody two-shoes. And that's how I would get away with like 90% of the shit, is because I was a goody two-shoes, and not one person would believe that such a sweet, innocent, beautiful little boy was capable of doing all this bullshit. And every year I would either corrupt my file or just corrupt the computer, period. And so nobody could present. And so I would just give everybody, extra time to do work. Because high school, just school here, period, is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Australia, but you don't learn shit in school in America. It's literally just they prime you to like study, take notes, and just memorize the notes, pass the test, throw that shit out. Like, I mean, a lot of people know that about me, but I went to cardiovascular technology school. Like, I was going to be a heart, like, scanner and all that shit. And I only stopped doing that like a year ago, and I don't remember jack shit about any of that. I'll be honest with you. And I, like, studied and all that, because what you do, essentially, is you just cram. You spit the information out. And that's why I was amazing in school for a really long time before I stopped trying. Because all you have to do is just memorize some shit and then spit it back out on the test and turn it in. And you would get like summa cum laude, what is it? Magna cum laude, mad cum laudes. Like, like all that shit you would get. The only awards I got by the time I was like 16 were like outstanding attendance. And that's because, like, dude, what the fuck am I going to do at home? I ain't going to do shit. I might as well go to school, But yeah, I used to cheat like a motherfucker.
I mean, like, I was a little nerd. Um, every year, Principal's Award, uh, Academic Excellence Awards, they're all just like piled up like in the garage because yeah, they don't mean really anything. So like I never cheated, but the lengths that I went to for assignments, it was just so unnecessary. It's like why put all that much effort into it? It's just year 7, year 8 assignments. I remember for one of our English assignments in year 7, we had to do like a creative presentation so we could like sing, or we could, I don't know, do something creative, create a movie. You know what we did? We filmed Shakespeare. Me and my friends. Oh my god, this is just so embarrassing.
Back up your clipping again.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
We filmed Romeo and Juliet. I was the narrator. My friends were the actors, and we basically reenacted the whole thing in like, I don't know, 3 minutes or something. Like it was just like a cliff note version of Romeo and Juliet, and then we ended our little film with the Taylor Swift song "You Belong with Me," and we all sang in there, and we presented it to our. How we didn't get bullied for that, I will never know. We deserve to be bullied for doing that presentation. And that was my English year 7 like first big assignment, and we got all 100%, A plus 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 plus. We were killing it. And then I got like, obviously I got my academic excellence award at the end of the year for English and writing, but we just did too much. Another thing that we did, we went to the city and we had to like do like a, I don't know, like public speaking kind of thing. So in year 9 you have to do like a city experience where you do stuff in the city as part of like the civic social science class. And for like a whole week we had to go to the city to have a, I don't know, this program, to experience this program. I don't even know what it is actually. So they would take us to like film studios, and they teach us about like, you know, films and how they do green screen and how they do I don't know, like camera technique and lighting and all that shit. And then we went to like a radio station and they taught us how to, like, how they did like broadcasting and all that shit. And then we went to some other places I can't remember really, lots of museums and other stuff. And then the end of the week, we had to do like a public speaking kind of thing. And my friends and I, the same group of girls that we did the Romeo Juliet little situation, we decided that we would do a Black Eyed Peas song and do the choreography and dance in the middle of the city in South Bank.
I think this is a Disney movie or some shit.
I still feel sick about it when I think. So we learned the choreography the whole week, and we went out there in our little school uniforms, just lined up. My friend brought her Bluetooth speaker, plugged it in. People were just like walking around, you know, grabbing food. It was lunchtime, people coming out from offices. And we just, like, she just started playing the song in the middle of the football. And then we just all, like, came out from behind the tree and started dancing.
Y'all are stupid as shit. That's what, okay, you're trying to find an explanation for head ass, and I keep trying to explain it to you, but that entire shit you just told me is head ass.
honestly. And then my teacher was like, she would go around checking different groups to see how we're doing. And then she arrived when we were just like in the middle of a song and dance presentation, and she was ecstatic. Like, she was like, this is absolutely brilliant, girls. She was just hyping us up so much. And I'm like, oh, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, earn that paycheck.
She was like, this is just amazing. It is so different from everyone. Well done, girls, for being so creative. I am so proud of you all. Oh my God, we were eating it up like, oh, we are the best and we're killing this. Yeah, we finished our little song and dance and people like applauded us, because I think it was just out of pity and out of like, all right, get out of here. Stop like annoying us. We're trying to, go get our lunch and you guys are just disturbing us in the city. But yeah, the lengths I went to, I still have my books that I compiled for assignments, and I would do my assignments and then I will bind them. Like, I would bind the assignment in a book and present my assignment to classmates.
Okay, I think we get the point. You're a try hard, but I just want to ask one question real quick. How much of that information do you use like today?
Nothing.
Yeah.
This was like English and a lot of social science. I barely remember doing any science. Oh, I do. I don't know. And I also don't know why I did methods, which is like maths in year 11, 12, which is like, it's a little bit harder than like the normal general and further maths. I don't know why I did that. I mean, only do methods if you're going to do engineering or, I don't know, computer science or something that
is
involves
methods what you
maths.
guys call calculus? Is that what you guys call calculus? Is methods?
I don't know. I think calculus is like a type of like topic in maths.
Are you talking about statistics? Is that what you guys call stats? Is methods?
No.
What is
Methods has like quadratics. It has everything in it. It's just like a level of maths. You do it methodically. So it can be stats. It can be like matrices. It could be quadratics, quartics. I don't know. Calculus. It has everything in it.
That sounds like a load of shit.
So that's the maths that I did because I am just good at maths and I enjoy maths. It brings me, weirdly, maths brings me peace.
All right, we're gonna cut right there because Amanda is like she's not even too cool for school. School is too cool for her. I don't know what your deal is, and you didn't use any of this shit at all.
And wait, let's speaking of shit that I didn't use, the subject that I chose to do for my VCE, I did psychology. When have I ever used psychology in my life?
You can use psychology plenty, but you just, I guess, choose not to.
But to me, it was the most useless subject because it's like I was doing chemistry, biology, and it just didn't translate to psychology, like the writing up of things. And it was just so frustrating to me. I also, I did history. You know what I did? This is talking about useless. I did Chinese Revolution history, Russian Revolution history.
Russian Revolution history is the easiest subject on planet Earth. Literally, all you have to...
These are useless subjects that I did that was so not necessary for me to do, because this is like... VC is what you do to get your score for university. Yeah. I could have done like things that would, be useful in my life. No, I did Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution, 20th century history, which I quite enjoy actually, to be honest. And what else did I do? 19th century history, I did a lot of history. Bloody hell. Psychology was the weird one, and then all the normal stuff like chemistry, biology, and English and maths. But I did so much history for no reason, and I studied science in uni, but I was trying to get like the easy boost to my score, because you just have to remember shit for history and then write down an essay, and then, well, we wrote 3 essays in the end, but that's also another thing. Like, why is it necessary for me to write 3 essays in my exam? It's just like, have you written, like the teachers, have they sat down and written down 3 essays in like, I don't know, how many hours do they give us to complete our exams? That shit hurts. My wrist is so sore after that. And then they expect us to come back the next day and write another 3 essays for English and for, I don't know, biology. Did we do like an essay? Yeah, we did. We had to do an essay for biology.
I don't know why
as
you're
well.
asking us.
I don't know. Maybe you did something similar in high school. Who knows?
No, I just talked about how I didn't try the entire thing of high school, and you're talking about how y'all went to broadcast museums. You know, the only field trips that we ever went to, we got banned from. We got banned from the zoo. We got banned from the alligator farm. Well, we didn't go at the time when they got banned from the alligator farm. We had already been banned from the alligator farm before I even got to the high school, because it was a middle and a high school, and a lot of the people had already. So the middle schoolers that transitioned into high school when I went to high school had already ruined like half the trips. And the one trip we got was Wild Adventures. And I remember Wild Adventures because it was like one of the only trips, and this was not till senior year or some shit. I can't even remember. But they were like, hey, we're not going to the water parks. Don't you guys pack bathing suits? And we didn't even leave the fucking water park the whole trip. Like, everyone came in bathing suits. They were like, oh, we don't want the girls in bathing suits. Motherfuckers were walking around wearing anything. Like, we had our dicks out and shit. Like, we didn't give a fuck. We were just walking around.
Stop.
I'm kidding, obviously. But, you know, we just went around. We went to the water park. We had a good old time. And that was about it. And then Grad Bash. Oh, my God, Grad Bash. We went to Grad Bash. I told you to remind me to tell the story. We went to Grad Bash.
Well, this is your opportunity now.
Yeah, we went to Grad Bash, and we were the only school from Jacksonville that went to Grad Bash at the time, because it was all of Florida, and the rest were all Miami. And I mean, they told me that women in Miami have ass, but I had no idea that every single one of them had ass. Like, I was taking bets with people, like this chick is like skinny. I almost said some shit in Arabic, but I don't know how to describe her. And like, she's like a wall. She's like thin. She's extremely thin. She's just like one-dimensional. She's flat. And I'm like, no way she has ass. $5 says she doesn't have ass. I lost so much money. She turned around, and that was a letter P just right there. And I was like, dude, that is nuts, man. That is crazy. How did you do that? How did you do that? You bested me. You fool. Like, you know, how people like say some shit. I used to watch like Yu-Gi-Oh anime or some shit. Like, I would catch it. I didn't like watch it religiously, but like sometimes, you know, you're watching TV, there's nothing to do as a kid, and you turn it on. And the way they translate those like Japanese animes are funny as shit. Like, the dude's like, I put down my trap card and you died. He's like, no, you fool, you've bested me. Like, they say the
So
dumbest
dramatic.
shit. Yeah, it's extra dramatic for no reason. And it's just the stupidest shit ever. But Grad Bash was lit. That was like one of the only trips we had. So we went crazy on that trip.
We had good excursions. Like, we did a lot of museums, like just normal Melbourne Museum. When they have like particular type of exhibitions, we would go to those ones. Holocaust Museum. What else? The Marine Museum. Zoo. We went to the zoo a lot. For biology, when we did I don't know, some section in biology that we had to go to the zoo for. I can't remember exactly what. Aquarium. Yeah, we did a lot of that. And school camps were like the thing that people were looking forward to, because that's when like they would send like 3 or 4 year levels to get, not year levels, but 3 or 4 classes from the same year level together, and then you go camping, and like usually it's like you do bike riding, fishing, hiking, you know, all the fun camping stuff.
Your life is
And that's like, it happens in like first term or the last term when it's warm. And we were supposed to have a road trip from Melbourne to Uluru, which is the, you know, outback. And that didn't happen because the boys in my year 12 year were just animals, and they can't control themselves, so they cancelled the trip. They were just like, I don't know, they were just being little dicks, and I couldn't stand them. They were like complaining about, oh, like, how are we going to sleep at night? Are we going to sleep in tents? We don't want to do tents. How long
men were doing this?
Yeah, the guys were just complaining a lot, and the girls were like down, like, yeah, hell yeah, we're going camping together. And we're gonna like drive from Melbourne all the way up, and then we're gonna fly back from Uluru down back to Melbourne. And then the boys were complaining a lot, and then my not my teacher, but she's our coordinator for the year level, she cracked it, and she's like, fine, since y'all can't stop complaining and don't appreciate good things in life when we try to put good things together for you guys to enjoy, we're going to cancel this whole shit. And they canceled the trip just because the guys were complaining a lot, little pussies. Yeah, so we didn't do our year 12. We did go on a study camp in year 11, and the boys almost set the prehistoric building. So it was like we went to Melbourne Uni, and the buildings are quite old, so it's basically like Hogwarts. We sat in like those long benches, the 4 benches, and had like a dinner. And we, you know, you have like not the faculty, what do they call them? The chancellor.
We don't have anything called a fucking chancellor. We don't have enough money for that shit, Amanda. All this shit you're describing, I can't relate to at all. We didn't have a coordinator. We didn't have a chancellor. We didn't have anything that start with a C. We didn't have no C's at all. Like, fucking, we had a dean and we had teachers. You're talking about, just regular shit. We just take a flight to Belize, to Turks and Caicos. Me and my buddies just have a grand old time. Come back, a little cheapo vaco.
Stop. No. He's not our chancellor. He's the chancellor of Melbourne Uni, specifically. That it's, in America they call them frats, but over here they call them schools or colleges, and you have colleges within universities.
Y'all are just dying to be smart.
And usually it's like those really rich private school kids that their parents were in those colleges. They join those colleges, or I think it's like if you're doing like a particular type of degree, then I don't know. There's like it's weird thing, and they have like their own library and their own like, it's basically like Hogwarts. Think of Hogwarts and put that in a university setting, basically that. And that was our study camp, where literally we went there for 3 days to just learn how to study, and they were teaching us like different tricks and tips and how to like study, and then how to take a break and meditate and all that shit to prepare us to do VC so we don't die halfway through it. And that was the lamest camp I ever attended. Like, you have to set time to go exercise, and then you have to learn how to meditate. So we had like a whole session with like this person that they brought in to teach us how to meditate and do yoga. It was just so weird. And then at night, because I was such a little nerd, everyone abandoned me and people were like fucking in each other's rooms, like because they had all the boys and girls stay in like the dormitory over there.
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking.
I was fast asleep because I was such a good girl. I didn't do anything else.
You were like, oh my god, you guys are so lame. And then you're like crying yourself to sleep. Why won't anyone fuck me?
Because I was the only one that took that shit seriously, and I put all my energy into actually doing the activities at the study camp when people were there just to fuck. And obviously I didn't get the memo.
That's the only reason anyone goes to camp. What are you doing?
I didn't know. I was 17 and innocent. Actually, I was 16.
That's the perfect time. That's the only time you should be doing that.
I was 16, okay? I was 16, very innocent little girl, just,
That's not innocent at all. That's where all the shit pops off.
No one told me. No one told me, okay?
Nobody told me, but it's not like...
Because I was a really big snitch. Oh, that's like another thing.
All right, no, we're done. We're done with this podcast. I'm gonna end it. It's the afternoon. I have like 7 favors I have to put in, and Amanda's just gonna sit here and talk about how she wasted her glory years telling people to shush and running to tell the teacher.
No. Please. Thank Christ I did not touch any of those nasty boys from school.
Teacher, they have an intercourse. What do you guys call it? Intro?
No. No, stop it. But yeah, I was asleep. I was asleep, and my roommate was my friend. I won't say her name. She's a very nice girl, but she was like in love with this boy, but he's Mormon. So
those are the best. Shout out to Davis, by the way, if Davis ever hears this, because Davis is Mormon, and I don't want no smoke. I mean, I do want smoke, but I don't want like smoke like that, because he's always been all right to me. Shout out to Davis.
Yeah, well, he was very hot. Like, he was one of those, like, he's been good looking since birth. Like, he's just like a very good looking guy.
Mormon
he lives in Hawaii now. He left Australia, so
that's the Mormon paradise right there is Miami. That's where all the holy shit goes down.
He lives in Hawaii, not Miami.
I said Hawaii.
You said Miami, weirdo.
Oh, well, I meant Hawaii. My bad.
Yeah, so she left to go looking for him in the middle of the night, and I was like in there by myself, and the place that we were staying at, the college, is right next to the cemetery because it's a very old building. And I woke up and there's no one in the room. I'm like, what is going on? And then in the morning we went downstairs and had a really stern talking to by the teachers of having self-control and being young adults making right decisions in life. And I was like, what is going on? And they're like, people were fucking last night. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, thanks for letting me know, guys.
Okay, Amanda, let's end this right here. If the Mormon is having more sex than you at 17, you are a piece of shit.
He wasn't, though.
You wasted your entire life if a Mormon is getting down more than you.
But he wasn't. He was a very good boy. He was curving my friend the whole night, and they were like in his room with like some other people, some other girls.
Okay,
and boys.
I thought he was the one getting action, because if he was getting action, you're not. That's a problem.
I didn't want any in high school. Thank you very much. With those nasty.
All right, whatever.
Boys that smell terribly.
That's what we. I was gonna say something, but I'll leave it for the Patreon episode, because you have to be able to,
teenage boys are disgusting.
You have to guess all these slang terms. But let's cut this short, because I gotta go. I got like 7 people calling me, and I guess I promised everybody a favor on Sunday for some reason, even though I know I record on Sunday. And yeah, I got like mad people, and also, I mean, we touched all the important topics today. We covered drug use. We covered death. Yes. We covered you being goody two shoes, and we covered the Wiffleball incident. So that's basically everything you ever need to know about any of us. Is that I ruined my life with a simple swing of a bat, and Amanda is too, or what is it? School is too cool for Amanda. So let's see. How am I gonna end this?
If school was too cool for me, I would have been a degenerate.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's those are gonna be the last words you say. I'm gonna leave that there. That's why I let that breathe. So thank you guys for listening to this clusterfuck again. I promise I will fix Amanda's microphone because she was just clipping.
At least we're not horny
the
today,
entire.
so.
I mean, you were screaming like you were horny according to the friggin' thing. You were clipping like a motherfucker. So we got to get that fixed ASAP. 'Cause I don't want people to blow their eardrums out. Poor listeners. We're already such a shit podcast. Like, people tell me about like the podcast they listen to. Shout out to Julian. He's like, oh, murder mystery podcast. I'm like, oh, they probably have like a lot of interesting shit to talk about. And we're sitting here like, yeah, I swung too hard with a plastic bat and destroyed my entire athletic career. But
Julian, if you like murder mystery podcasts, listen to Case File.
I think he does listen to Case File.
Then you're a great person. We should be friends.
Yeah, Julian's cool. Like, I'll introduce you to my friends. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna say like, yo, this is my girl. Like, me and her go way back, and I'm gonna like wink at him or some shit.
Why do you sound like a creep now?
How do you know I've already not done that? I'm like, oh, bro, me and Amanda, like, how did we meet, bro? We met on a yacht, and she was looking at me a little bit, and I was looking at her a little bit. And then one thing led to another, and, you know, like, now I got 5 kids, and I'm struggling to feed them. And since I'm trying to feed my family, y'all should sub to the Patreon.
Yes, they're starving.
Yeah, part 2 of me and Amanda trying to guess each other's slang is going to be up, and I'm going to be wearing another funny hat because I wore a funny hat to the first one. I'm going to wear another funny hat to the next one.
Your hot dog hat.
Yeah, thanks for, you know, I might as well just put it out for free now. You just ruined everything. But yeah.
No, but you do have a hot dog hat, so wear that. You don't have to tell them the reason why you have one. That's not the point. The point is you should wear it.
No, I'll tell them because it'll make them feel better. I have a whole bunch of stories that I'm going to save for the next podcast because I had a whole bunch, but I know they're going to take like an hour, 2 hours, and we're on a budget and I can only afford so many recording hours before they start charging me again. So we got to cut these motherfuckers short. We are so low budget, but I don't give a shit. People seem to like it. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. And
do not come here for hard-hitting topics about life and politics and culture. You're going to listen to us talk shit, and we're going to talk about our terrible teenage and childhoods.
No, I think part of the reason people like this podcast is because they know we're having fun and we're just dicking around. Like, it's entertainment, but
it's just all dicks up in here, just dicking around.
Yeah, follow us on social media. Give us money. The Patreon, it's lit. It's fire. Shout out to the 4 people, not counting Amanda, that are already there. And first 50 people get something special. I'm still on that. And the people that I have told about the surprise that I'm doing for the Patreon, because the 4 people that I told that are subscribed, they really like the idea. They said it's fire. So if y'all want to get in on some fire, you also subscribe to the Patreon, and we'll make more bonus content. Like, still trying to figure this shit out. Zoom is terrible. That's the one like thing I'll call out. I don't like to call out like companies and shit because I don't want to damage any reputations. Unlike Amanda, who just like fucks everything left and right. But
what?
Zoom is horrible. That might be the worst fucking like shit I've ever used in my life. Like, no matter what kind of connection or what kind of camera you have, the video's always grainy, glitches out like crazy, the shit doesn't save right, everything's up with that. So, Zoom, y'all better fix that shit, or you just need to, like, sell, like, Facebook needs to let go of Zoom and sell it to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing and has time to, like, keep that up. Or just, you know, just cancel it completely. But thank you guys for listening to this clusterfuck like you guys always do. And we will be seeing you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.